Ravi Lochan. Ravi Lochan.
Krishna consciousness is a sign, not real.
Ravi Lochan. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Hari Bol, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Good. Hare Sabat. Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Pariyojikacharya, Ashtutra Satra Sri Srimad His Divine Grace, Abhay Charana, Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, all glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, all glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, all glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, all glorious, Srila Prabhupada, Gauranga, Krishna Pada, Krishna Bhaktivedanta Swami Tirami, Namaste Saraswati, Sunyavadi Pasyatya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. How are you, Prabhu? Long time. Ah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4. Canto 4 is titled what? The creation of the fourth order. Chapter 19. King Prithu's 100 horse sacrifices. Text 4. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chapter 19 doesn't have a chapter summary, huh? Creation of the fourth order means what? Creation of the Brahmana society or creation of the Sudra society? Chapter 19. So let's just go and look at the chapter titles. Vishnu presents sacrifice. Krishna, Maharaj becomes angry. Means a description of the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, Manu, stop fighting. Story of King Vena. Dhruva Maharaj returns home. Brahma satisfies Lord Shiva. Sati quits her body. Sacrifice performed. Talks between Lord Shiva. Genealogical tables of the daughters of Manu. So that means the creation of the Brahminical order because it's coming from Manu. Text 4. Anvito Brahma Sarvabhyam Loka Palaihi Sahanugaihi Upagiyamano Gandharvair Munibis Cha Apsaroganaihi Anvito Brahma Sarvabhyam Lokapalaihi Sahanugai Upagiyamano Gandharvair Munibhischa Apsaroganaihi Anvito Brahma Sarvabhyam Lokapalaihi Sahagunaihi Lokapalaihi Sahagunaihi Lokapalaihi Sahanugaihi Upagiyamano Gandharvair मुनिभिश्चाप्सरोगणैः अन्वितो ब्रह्म सर्वाभ्यां लोकपालैः सहानुगैः उपगीयमानो गन्धर्वैर् मुनिभिश्चाप्सरोगणैः अन्वितो ब्रह्म सर्वाभ्यां नो अन्वितो ब्रह्म सर्वाभ्यां लोकपालैः सहानुगैः उपगीयमानो गन्धर्वैर् मुनिभिश्चाप्सरोगणैः अन्वितो ब्रह्म सर्वाभ्यां लोकपालैः सहानुगैः उपगीयमानो गन्धर्वैर् अन्वितो सर्व ब्रह्म सर्वाभ्यां लोकपालैः mothers अन्वितो ब्रह्म सर्वाभ्यां लोकपालैः सहानुगैः उपगीयमानो गन्धर्वैर् मुनिभिश्चाप्सरोगणैः अन्विता being accompanied Brahma by Lord Brahma, Sarvabhyam and by Lord Shiva, Lokapalaihi by the predominating chiefs of all different planets, Sahanugaihi along with their followers, Upagiyamanaihi being praised, Gandharvaihi by the residents of Gandharva Loka, Munibihi by great sages, Cha also, Apsaraganaihi by the residents of Apsara Loka. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Lord Vishnu appeared in the sacrificial arena, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the chief predominating personalities of every planet, as well as their followers, came with him. When he appeared on the scene, the residents of Gandharva Loka, the great sages, and the residents of Apsara Loka all praised him. Text 5. The Lord was accompanied by the residents of Siddhaloka and Vidyadhara Loka, all the descendants of Diti and the demons and the Yakshas. He was also accompanied by his chief associates headed by Sunanda and Nanda. Great devotees, text 6. Great devotees who were always engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as the great sages named Kapila, Narada, and Dattatreya, and masters of mystic powers headed by Saunaka Kumara, all attended the great sacrifice with Lord Vishnu. Yatra dharma duga bhumihi sarva kama duga sati dogdhi smabhistan dogdhi smabhistan arthan yajamanasya bharata. Smabhir ipsitan. Smabhir ipsitan arhan. Yajamanasya Bharata. Translation. My dear Vidura, in that great sacrifice, the entire land came to be like milk producing Kamadhenu, and thus by the performance of Yajna, all daily necessities of life were supplied. Quote. In this verse, the word Dharmaduga is significant, for it indicates Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu is also known as Surabhi. Surabhi cows inhabit the spiritual world, and as stated in the Brahma Samhita, Lord Krishna is engaged in tending these cows. Surabhi Abhipalayantam. One can milk a Surabhi cow as often as one likes, and the cow will deliver as much milk as one requires. Milk, of course, is necessary for the production of so many milk products, especially clarified butter, which is required for the performance of great sacrifices. Unless we are prepared to perform the prescribed sacrifices, our supply of the necessities of life will be checked. Bhagavad Gita confirms that Lord Brahma created human society along with Yajna, the performance of sacrifice. Yajna means Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and sacrifice means working for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this age, however, it is very difficult to find qualified Brahmanas who can perform sacrifices as prescribed in the Vedas. Therefore, it is recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yajnair Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Prahehi, that by performing Sankirtana Yajna and by satisfying the Yajna Purusha Lord Chaitanya, one can derive all the results derived by the great sacrifices in the past. King Prithu and others derived all the necessities of life from the earthly planet by performing great sacrifices. Now the Sankirtana movement has already been started by the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. People should take advantage of this great sacrifice and join in the society's activities. Then there will be no scarcity. If Sankirtana Yajna is performed, there will be no difficulty, not even in industrial enterprises. Social, political, cultural, industrial, economical, etc., then everything will run very peacefully and smoothly. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuhu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desitarine. Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapatantikam Vancha Kalpatarobhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauru Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Nothing. Who gave you them?
Hare Krishna. So we are very happy to have His Grace Rasaraj Prabhu with us. So many of you already know him, but still I'd like to introduce Prabhuji. Prabhuji is the director of Bhaktivedanta Institute, which is the institute desired by Srila Prabhupada, established by Srila Prabhupada for scientific research based on Srimad Bhagavatam. And is also the director of Institute of Semantic Information Sciences and Technology at Mumbai and Berkeley. He commands an in-depth training in both science and religion.
I know, that's all.
And Prabhuji worked in USA for Fortune 500 companies like General Motors, Ford, IBM, etc. And Prabhuji is also a monk in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. Prabhuji has PhD in quantum mechanics.
That you can say.
Yeah. I just jumped to that. And also Prabhuji is a ME from BITS Pilani in electronics engineering, and B from Annamala University in electrical and electronics engineering. And Proj is very fond of.
In 1965.
Yeah.
Even I have forgotten that. Enough. That's
Hare Krishna. Let's welcome Prabhuji to our center by chanting once Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So I'm very happy to be here in ISKCON South Bangalore, right? And it's a very nice temple, and all of you are doing very nice service. So my appreciations and obeisances to all of you, because you are all participating in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtana movement. The primary purpose of Krishna consciousness movement, what is that, according to you, Mr. Asim? Huh? Doing Sankirtan. Huh? What is it? What is he saying? Oh, Nacho Gao. According to you, what is the primary purpose of Krishna consciousness? To purify our hearts.
Serving the devotees and their lordships and going back to the spiritual world.
Right. So that is closer. The first and foremost purpose of Krishna consciousness is that you should become a devotee. Devotee means pure devotee. Isn't it? First, doctor means qualified, MBBS passed. First year MBBS is not doctor. Second year MBBS is not doctor. Third year MBBS is not doctor. Even fourth year MBBS is not doctor till you pass the exam. So, and until you pass, the result is announced and you are recognized, Prabhupada said in one conversation, even though you have completed the whole process, you're still not a doctor. So, Krishna consciousness is the way, the path for us to become Krishna conscious, to become a devotee. And then, of course, during that process, we are also telling others. We are not waiting for us to become a pure devotee before we preach. But the primary purpose is that I should become a devotee. That's all, the only focus. Everything else will come automatically. Does that make sense? This is what every devotee must be focusing on 24/7. How can I become a pure devotee? And that process of Krishna consciousness is extraordinary and subtle. We should not think that, this is the process and it's complete. That's all. I don't have to do anything else. Because when a person comes in the beginning to the movement, we meet him on the street, we tell him, read a book, isn't it? And we tell him, chant Hare Krishna. Why don't you come to our temple? Then when he comes to the temple, we say, here, stand here, and he also dance, Davo Nacho, like Nasim said. And take Krishna Prasadam. And after some time, we tell him, serve Krishna Prasadam. And chant Hare Krishna, chanting 2 rounds, and make it 4 rounds, 8 rounds. Why don't you, when you come to the temple, put tilak? Then why don't you bring one dhoti kurta, and at least when you come for Sunday, you put that. So we know the steps clearly. Then when, he's standing 16, why don't you join full time? Then after he joins full time, why don't you take first initiation? And after he takes first initiation, we say, why don't you take second initiation? After that, nothing. God is an automatic. We don't know. After that, what are the actual steps you are supposed to? In the beginning, you know, if I'm chanting 4 rounds, I should go to 8 rounds. But after second, oh, I forgot. You have to become temple commander. You have to become vice president. You have to become president. Then sannyas. Then GBC. So that is on the administrative side. When sannyas Prabhupada said, if you take sannyas, it doesn't mean you have become a sannyasi. You are being given a chance to become a sannyasi. Just as when we get initiated, it doesn't mean we have become devotees, but we are being given a chance to become a devotee. So we must understand that the primary problem we have is our tendency, the conditioned soul's tendency to misidentify himself with the body and this mind. Mind is a subtle body. I'm not the body means I'm not the gross body. I'm not also the subtle body. If you don't know the distinction between the soul, the subtle body, and the gross body, you cannot become liberated. And if you don't become liberated, you cannot become a pure devotee. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. Krishna says, when you become liberated, Brahma Bhuta means we are currently Mahat Bhuta. We have a material body. Brahma Bhuta means you understand your spiritual nature. Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. Then you actually get my opportunity to serve me, which is higher. Just like unless you get an electrical engineering degree, you cannot become an electrical engineer. So even if you become an electrical engineer and you haven't got a job, there is no use. So even if you become Brahma Bhuta, if you don't actually attain devotional service, then again, Aruhya Kricharena Param Padam Padanti Yada. The impersonalist class of people, they actually do a lot of tapasya. Mechanically, they try to. It's like you're in a prison and you're trying, there's a high wall there. And somehow you, by your own effort, when nobody is looking, you cross over. Uske baad kya hai? If you don't know there is a city and you can go and live there, again you come down. Or they'll catch you and bring you down. Padantiyada. This is for Mayavadis who have actually understood the material world is to be overcome. Most of us, we don't even know that. We don't even know that I'm supposed to overcome the gross body and subtle body. Just like the fan is running. If you look at it, it is running. See that. How many blades you see there? Look up. And the fan is running. Kitna blade? Nothing. It's just one thing. Like that, the soul, the subtle body, and the gross body, all one thing. So that you sometimes think I'm the body, gross body, sometimes you think I'm the subtle body, I'm thinking this and that. I'm sitting and chanting sometimes, and hopefully on the soul platform, it goes on. So this fan has to be slowly stopped so that you clearly see all the 3 bloods. This is the goal of first and second initiation. It's a process. There's also more things. Let's not get into it right now. But the end process of first and second initiation, after which begins, there are 2 more stages after that, described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But at least you should know it's not that I'm just chanting and everything will happen. Apne aap. Nacho gao. No. You have to endeavor to overcome the subtle body and gross body. That is why Bhagavatam is there every day. Does it make sense? How to understand what is the gross body, what's the subtle body, and how can I distance myself from this, which is done entirely by chanting. That is the beauty of this age. Do not think chanting is just a casual process. Kirtaniya sada harihi. We must come to the platform of all the time chanting, exactly like you are on the platform of breathing all the time. With every breath, you must automatically, we must chant. Then Kirtaniya Sadhari. Because you're always breathing. That's pranayam. And there is no difference between chanting Hare Krishna and Ashtanga Yoga. You have to be very, very concentrated. Not a simple thing. And in Mr. Chow, they say, I can't. You have to sit down. You're already in a clean place. Sit vertical, back, head, neck, everything. So take a deep breath. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Don't chant just here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare autopilot. As soon as somebody chants, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. You should never break one mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. No, it's one. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. The Hare Hare is very important. Srimati Radharani. You have to hear. And the tongue has to work. Ata Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Grahyam Indriyahi Sevan Mukehi Jihva Adav. The tongue has to do the work. Chaitanya Charitamrita Prabhupada says, it's like a boxer is boxing on that punching bag. Same way the tongue should work. So this chanting process, when you chant, Krishna will reveal in the heart how you can chant better. And every day we must chant better than the previous day. Otherwise, something is wrong. You want to go to the class? Oh, I thought he wanted to sit here. I can just hold it like this. Oh, I can. No, it won't work. It's like many devotees during the class. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's have the class. So, we have to chant, and that is yajna. Yajna sankirtana prayar yajantihi sumedasa. So, Srila Prabhupada set up the scientific wing of Krishna consciousness. I'm in charge of it in Bombay and Berkeley. So, what is the purpose of this scientific wing? Previously, people used to think that it is meant for defeating scientists. Call them scientists fools and rascals, isn't it? Pigs and asses and donkeys also. I forgot donkeys. I was just telling the other day that devotees preach and badmouth the scientists, and then you see them. And I saw one devotee near his son. I asked, "What is your son doing?" He's doing a PhD in artificial intelligence in America. Follow? Something like that. So now, maybe after my work, then some devotees are slowly coming to know that, okay, so it is meant for scientific research, not for bad-mouthing scientists. You can go to www.rasaraja.org. Krishna. So, it'll come anyway. So, Prabhupada made many statements. So if you go there, it's my website, Rasaraja. Of course, I have my science website also, www.ravigomatam.com. Little commercial break, advertisement. No, the point is on the top there is something called Srila Prabhupada or Acharya or something, right? One tab is there. If you press on that, they'll say SP on matter, right? Srila Prabhupada on matter. On the top there is a tab. Anji, yes, our Acharya, correct. On the top left. You seeing it or not, Prabhu? Huh? He's thinking, I'm the Acharya, so what is? That was your confusion, right? That is Srila Prabhupada on matter up there. So if you go down, you'll find one quote which says, the material scientists are factually realizing Lord Hari. Material philosophers and scientists. There's so many quotes are there, you can go and see it. But it's there. You follow? You found it? Anyway, yeah. Is there? Can you read that? Microphone.
Scientific knowledge engaged in the service of
No. The material scientist and philosopher. What do you mean by, why did he say it's there? Before? No, material scientists and philosophers are factually, because Rajahamsa, you find it. Anyway, it's all, if you find something, you should immediately find it. Boring. Huh? Is that?
No, that is going towards the region of the antimaterial.
Okay, don't read unnecessary things. Find, put a control F and do factually.
No,
Bah.
no, that's not.
What? Anybody who knows how to use computers? What are you doing? Give me the computer. Wasting time, everybody's time. Really mine. There it is. Read it.
the Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually realized in the vision of a material philosopher and scientist through the manifestations of his material energy.
So you can't only say Prabhupada was calling them fools and rascals. That's called imitating. Don't imitate Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada can write this also. Are you following Asim Krishna? I mean Asim. Following or not following? This again read it. The Supreme.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually realized in the vision of a material philosopher and scientist through the manifestations of his material energy.
So this, and you can try to find that other verse, quote where Prabhupada said this verse is VI is meant for, those who will not come. So Srila Prabhupada wrote that the Bhakti scientific presentations of Krishna consciousness in general, he never used the word scientific preaching. Science and preaching don't go together. Always, he used 9 times he used the phrase scientific presentations of Krishna consciousness. And in that process, you see, Prabhupada said it is meant for those who will not come to the temple, but it is also meant for those in the temple. And those who are not coming to the temple are how many percentage of the world? Huh? Louder. 99.9. People who are coming to the temple are very few. And it will always be like that. Although Lord Chaitanya said, Prithivite ache nagaradi grama sarvatra hoibe prachar maranam, the number of people who will come to the temple will always be like this, who are naturally inclined through piety or actual devotional service. Then how to catch the other people? So Prabhupada said, this scientific presentation is set up for that. So it is the most important scientific preaching arm, is a preaching arm of ISKCON. Prabhupada wrote that also. But it's not known, it's not understood. And it is also meant for all of us. That is some quantum mechanics, that's for somebody else. Not. Whether it is quantum mechanics, whether you are sweeping the floor, doesn't matter. You must understand what? You must understand dash. What is the dash? No. Science of Krishna, I said no. You must understand matter. So you find that quote where Prabhupada says, those who are conditioned must first of all, in the same page, SP on matter, it says, those who are in the material world should first of all understand the workings of the material energy before they. So Prabhupada writes, he'll find that quote anyway. So Prabhupada said, those who are in the material world first of all understand matter. I give the example that if you have a map somebody gave you and you want to go to Delhi and you located Delhi is here, but you don't know where you are, can you use the map? No. You know you have to go to Goloka, but you don't know where you are. You are in the material world. And you have to get rid of all this. This is the most important thing. So do not think it's something casual. Do not think it is something automatic. What is that?
Those who are in control of the external energy of the Lord, or in other words, those who are in the material world, must first of all know how the external energy of the Lord is working under the direction of the Supreme Personality. And afterwards, one may try to enter into the activities of this internal energy.
So you don't have any choice. The third canto is describing, simply you can't say, Panchabhutas, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Asim, what is this table made of? Wood. So but actually it is made of 5 elements. And they have to be seen. The 5 elements are gross. You have to see the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, but we cannot see. We cannot even see gross matter. Are you following? Did you know that? That you can't even see matter? Then, how are you going to see Krishna? So, it is, so Understanding Bhagavatam is a science. This yajna process that is described here is a science that was created. And when people were not able to do the yajna process, Lord Chaitanya has given the Sankirtan process, it is the same. You have to become as qualified as a Brahmana who can chant mantras and create results. But most importantly, we should become pure devotees. Am I making sense or I'm not making sense? So this is a theme I'm kind of repeating, but it is worth repeating. Education must be there. Education is systematic process. Not that everybody sits and speaks Bhagavatam. That is preaching. Anybody can do. Education is a systematic process. Prabhupada said he wanted education. Bhakti Shastri course, Bhakti Vaibhava. And Bhakti Shastri course doesn't mean you go through the course and at the end of it the same. Nothing new. Did you do Bhakti Shastri course? You did, huh? Did you learn anything that you didn't know before? What did you learn? Nothing. Don't bluff. What are you saying? What did you learn? Did you learn something that nobody else knows? Who didn't do the course? When you did Bhakti Shastri course, did you learn something new? Rubbish. That's the cheating going on. Professor, the books are. No, it's rubbish. It's not education. Education means, I was explaining, please try to understand. I know what is education because my papers are taught in American universities. What is that? You didn't read that. My textbooks are part of classroom teaching in North American university. And I've started 2 masters and PhD programs, one in collaboration with BITS Pilani, another in affiliation with University of Mumbai. I've published more than 45 papers, and so I know I've guided many theses, masters and PhD, all based on Bhagavatam, by the way, not outside. So education means, I give the example, just like Newton, he wrote a book. Most people would not even know what book he wrote. That is where he developed his physics. Do you know what is the book? That's not possible. Even if you're a PhD in physics, you may not know. You may not have even read the book. It's called Principia Mathematica. He published in some 1540 or something like that. That's when modern science started. That's when scientifically atheism started. Very sophisticated. Don't laugh. You have no clue what is atheism. You have got 0 clue what is atheism. Atheism, I want to make another video, short video. I have a YouTube channel, another commercial break, where I have 2-3 minute videos. I think he'll play something at the end, he can show you. You can subscribe to the channel if you want. But the point is that, so when Newton wrote the Principia Mathematica, he didn't teach it. All his life, he was never a professor. He never taught. But people who are with him, guys who were professors who understood, they then actually developed the curriculum. What is required to actually understand this? First, we should teach the language, English. Ba, black, sheep, heavy, any. This is also for learning Newton's mechanics, but first you have to learn English language. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 + 1 = 2, like that. Then arithmetic, and then algebra, then basic science and calculus. Like that, slowly, you come to study Newton's physics. So they put a standard thing. Similarly, these pedagogical materials have to be developed. Our Newton are far greater than Newton. Srila Prabhupada is there. The books are there. And he said that develop the educational and he wanted the Bhaktivedanta Institute to do that. How do you develop that curriculum? So I've worked on this for more than 44 years, non-stop, 24/7. Otherwise, you cannot develop this kind of work. So suppose you want to say that there is one word. So when you come to the temple, your process of education should begin. Should be taught how to read Bhagavad Gita. Not the same thing. You just read and then speak. No, you should be taught. So, for example, the first question is multiple choice question should be asked. If there is one thing you have to learn first, now that you have become a temple devotee, like, unless you are like Asim who knows everything, now you need to be taught, is it? What is the one word that you should first understand? Now, I'll give multiple choice. Krishna, soul, time, matter, experience, mind. Out of this, let's say one word you have to first understand its meaning, according to Bhagavata. What will be that word? Just wrong. Huh? Wrong. Wrong. Krishna is wrong. Huh? Means wrong. You have to eliminate. Anjay? Matter. No. The word experience. Experience. Because reality is behind experience. Maya Javanika Achannam. The curtain of Maya is that you are actually getting experience through the five senses. That's the entrance. Not the five organs. People, if you ask people, what are the five senses? They'll say nose, eyes. No, it's not the senses. This is the organs. Isn't it? You thought that these are all five senses, isn't it? And you'll go on. This is what I mean. Uneducated. No, there is five senses. Jnanendriya, Karmendriya. The five senses are behind these organs. They produce the eye. This is Sankhya. By interaction. That is why it is described. Sound, element, ether, sound and ear. It's produced. How is it produced? So why should we should know this? If you don't know this, you cannot become a devotee. Prabhupada has written. First of all, must understand how the material energy works. That's why Bhagavatam is there. Lord Brahma in the second canto is describing to Narada what is material creation. Material creation is one of the topics of the kissing of the gopis. Try to find a verse which says kissing of the gopis. So Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad, when Parikshit Maharaj was asking, he's asking Shukadeva Goswami, how did the Lord create the phenomenal world? That's a world of experience. Then Prabhupada writes in the purport that Parikshit Maharaj did not say, I've got only 7 days, so let me just, can you please directly talk about Ras Leela? No. Nor did Shukadeva Goswami chastise him. Exactly this, I'm repeating what Prabhupada has written in the purport. Nor did he chastise him, saying, well, you got only 7 days, why do you want to know how material creation is made? Buddha, no, let me speak about Krishna, 10th canto, you hear. No. And then Rai Prabhupada writes in the purport that the Lord kissing the gopis in the rasa dance and the topics about material creation are the same for a learned transcendentalist. Is there? Read it, please.
The pure devotees of the Lord,
Hmm.
however, can equally relish the nectar in the form of profound philosophical discourses about material creation and in the form of kissing by the Lord in the rasa dance,
Wow.
as there is no mundane distinction between the two.
Good or not good? Boring? You're learning something or wasting time? Why can't you speak on Bhagavatam? Why is he just wasting time? No, this is Bhagavatam. Just like a great devotee, if you give him chapan bhog, he will relish it. And even if you gave him a simple plate of khichdi offered to the Lord, he won't say, oh, this is only khichdi, why don't you give me chapan bhog? It's both Mahaprasad. But if you are having the indigestion, then the khichdi is better than chapan bhog. So although for the great devotees, there is no difference between the Lord kissing the gopis, I'm talking about that, and material creation. We who have indigestion, we cannot digest discussions about gopis. For us, what is better? Topics about material creation. Very important. You must know why it is. So people must be taught when you come to, if you don't know the difference between experience and reality, there is no way you can learn Bhagavatam. Learn. अपने आप पढ़ो, नाचो गाओ and बताओ जो कुछ बोल सकता है, just simply speak. Isn't it? I call this as green glass knowledge. If you put a green glass, then you'll see everything green. If you are blind, green glass is better than anything, but still you have got green. Like that, whatever we read and understand is through our mind and intelligence. That's also good. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sanjaya says, you are worshipping me by my intelligence. But we must go beyond that. So the experience, what is this experience is, matra sparshestu kaunteya, matra sparshestu kaunteya, sita ushna sukha dukkata, agama paino anisya stam titiksha bharata. Prabhupada is saying that people go to the sadhus and say, oh, I'm having this problem, that problem, please bless me. My son is not getting married, my daughter is not getting a job. No, the other way, I don't know. It used to be the other way. My daughter is not getting married, my son is not getting a job. Now they say my daughter is not getting a job, my son is not getting married. You see? But still they are actually, Prabhupada said they go to the sadhu and ask for these things. But Krishna is the greatest. And what is he saying in Bhagavad Gita? Is he saying, I will solve your material problems? No, Prabhupada said. What is he saying? Tam titiksha bharata. Just try to tolerate. So this is not obviously an instruction for everybody in the world. The Shastras are meant for those who are willing to get out of the material world. The transcendental Shastras. For others, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Aisa, aisa karo, aisa, aisa mileka. So this process of Krishna consciousness begins by actually understanding that I am bewildered in the material world. Bewildered by what? Bewildered by experience, bewildered by thought, and bewildered by false ego. Three things are acting. This is not simply speaking. False ego, what is that? They invited me to a school where they had a Bhagavad Gita competition and the winner was speaking. And he was talking about how it is very important to become humble. One should not be arrogant. False ego must be overcome because this reading. I asked him, suppose if somebody is very humble, he says, I don't know anything, then is he having still false ego, ahankar? He said, no. I said, no. He's still having false ego. Whether you think I am great or whether you think I am small, it is both ahamkara. I am the doer. Ahamkara is not arrogance. Ahamkara is the wrong understanding that I am the doer when what is being done is my body and mind. What I'm trying to tell you is that there is a systematic way to learn this. This is not just sitting and discussing. Prabhupada said, no. Don't open your mouth and talk nonsense. You have to first understand. Isn't it? When you go to X coordinate, Y coordinate. Sir, excuse me. No, what excuse me? Then Newton, we first learn this X coordinate, Y coordinate. This point is X equal to 2, Y equal to 0. This point is X equal to 0, Y equal to 5. This point is X equal to 2, Y equal to 5. Try to understand first. Unless you're trained to think properly like that, you cannot follow up. Are you following what I'm saying? So, suppose you say, I feel happy. You know you're describing your experience. Correct? Following or not? Come on, everybody is looking like, following or not? No, because in the class, you are told every day, the whole world is foolish, you are great. Bhavanam Janmanam Ante Jnanam. Now I'm trying to reverse it. The world knows more than you. The scientists know these things about science, experience and reality. They've been studying it. That is how they are able to understand reality, manipulate, and they're controlling the world. And Prabhupada says they are also realizing God. Because God is the reality behind experience. Anyway, so try to show some enthusiasm. I'm looking at, anyway, what's the time now? 9 ho gaya. I'll try to wrap up in a few minutes. So, when you say, I'm happy, you're describing your experience or the world? Everybody? Suppose I say, there is a brown table in front of me. Am I describing my experience or I'm describing the world? And that is wrong. And that is the origin of atheism. So, try to understand. If we believe in this, we are atheists. And scientists don't believe in that. Now, how that atheists will come another time, another class. But let's make the basic point. It is also your experience. I see a brown table is as much your experience as I'm happy. Is this point understandable or a little confusing? Anji? Understandable? Because it's first your experience. Now, behind that, there may be a table or there may be in modern times is easy, there may be a virtual reality. Confusing. Yeah, it's okay. I'll try to explain. In the modern times, if you say a man is running, the same as, it's not a statement about the world, it's your experience. Behind that, there may be a man running, or it may be just a movie where a man is running, where the reality is something else. It's a screen and the projector and the film. So behind the experience of a man running, there may be a man running, or there may be some other more advanced material reality. Is this now clear? Therefore, the statement man is running is first of all your experience. And what is behind that is reality. Are you following or not? Making sense or not? So, Srimad Bhagavatam in the very first canto, first verse is saying, the world is unreal. Isn't it? First verse of Bhagavatam, it says that. No, Prabhupada said it is real but temporary. That is also true. The fact that your experience is unreal doesn't mean the world is unreal. Because you see the man running, that is not real. But the world in which there is a screen and the projector and the light and the film, that is real. So in the same world, material world, you can have an experience that is not real, but the world is real. Make sense or not? This is all the beginning. The Maya means that which is not. You have to understand. The Mayavadi conception of Maya is also highly sophisticated. It's not foolish. Very sophisticated. It's a part of Vaishnava Siddhanta. I want to write a small booklet, a Vaishnava introduction to Advaita Vedanta. Because Advaita Vedanta is part of Vaishnava Vedanta. If you don't know that, it doesn't make sense and it's wrong. That's another topic. So I'm having an experience. Behind that, there is a table. That is an illusion. That's an assumption. You can't say, no, I'm touching. That's also experience. Sense of touch, sense of smell, sense of everything is. There's nothing real. Just because you're touching, it's more real than. Prabhu, in the movie thing, screen, when I go and touch, I'll see that there is no man. But here I can touch. No, this is also sense experience. Are you following or not? If you want to become a Vedantin, if you want to become a Bhakti Vedantin, you must be able to see the world like this. Do not think this is a luxury for some foolish people. Prabhupada has written, you must first of all. That's why Bhagavatam is there. What is this? So, Krishna says, it's your experience, these things. Matras Sparshas Kaunteya. Matras means here, Tanmatras. Sparshas means sense perception. So therefore, it's an experience. The reality is different, so try to tolerate. But why am I feeling it is real? Because of mind, intelligence, and false ego. One must learn this. Prabhu, I don't want to know all of this. I believe that if I chant, I will come to know all of this. That's a fact. But have you? Just can't only say by chanting I'll come to know and not come to know. That means something is wrong. Vasudeve Bhagavate Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janete Asu Jnanam Cha Vairagyam. Very quickly you must get this knowledge. Because we can't waste. Time is. So we want to get past this matter and get to Krishna. And like he said, service of Krishna. Service of Krishna. And devotees, service of devotees. This is the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam, to educate. So this knowledge, the scientists are now coming to it. So anyway, the point is that scientists believe that what you experience, behind that the reality is different from what you experience. If you ask them, they'll say it is actually cellulose, a chemical, and it's a long, very polymer, isn't it? They'll say something like that. It's a long chain chemical polymer, this and that. So they think that that is reality. But Krishna says that reality is me, but before that, there are many other stages of material realities. You have to understand. So in the olden days, material requirements were performed by Brahmins who actually gave everything through those yajnas to other people. But in Kali Yuga, there's another quotation that, now they will not accept. You remember that verse, that quotation? Prabhupada said, 5,000 years ago, he said, that's okay. Krishna's teachings. Now people are advanced in modern science and philosophy. They will not accept if it is not presented according to science. Oh, what is that? Read.
Therefore, his teachings, crude teachings, cannot be now applied to the
Of
modern.
course, Prabhupada means, in my meaning, crude means simple.
Simple.
He's using the word simple. Simple teachings.
Simple teachings cannot be now applied to the modern, advanced, educated people. That was suitable for those people. Now people have advanced in science and philosophy. Now God consciousness and should be presented on the basis of science and philosophy. Otherwise, people will not accept.
If you understand this, then you can actually scientifically show why God is present here. And I have to give another lecture on that. So don't think this is not connected. So without matter, you cannot see God. That is the meaning of Archa Vigraha. Stone, from the stone, when established, and Krishna reveals himself there. So you are also learning Krishna, seeing Krishna through matter. Scientists are also seeing Krishna through matter purpose. They may be seeing in a less informed way, but it's very sophisticated. So our seeing Krishna is also equally sophisticated, but we should know that. So, कहने का मतलब है, I will stop here. I've just barely started. I've not even gotten to the purport. This is like, when singer is there, Carnatic singer, before the song you'll do Alapana, isn't it? Alapana will go for 2 hours sometimes. That itself is also part of his singing. And that fellow will tune the thing. And this fellow with the violin. Abhi shuru ho gaya. This is Alapana. So this is Alapana. And there is no violin, there's no mridanga, everybody is sleeping. But still I have to speak. Hello? It's a wonderful world. And Lord Chaitanya is going to reveal all this. He is going to make materialistic class of people in the world see Krishna in his form. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. Avyakta murti. It is not enough to say it is Krishna's energy. Krishna himself is there. Here he has revealed himself, but he's everywhere. And they are going to be able to see everywhere Krishna. Can you imagine that? We don't see Krishna in this chatai. They're going to see. It's coming. I'll have to explain. So this is not some crazy thing. We shouldn't become like Hindus. Hindus were saying, we know everything. What is this? They didn't take Prabhupada. Then when Prabhupada went abroad and when he came back, all the Westerners with shaved head and see, we don't have shaved head, Hindus are thinking, Sika, and they're not even taking coffee and tea, really? And they're chanting and dancing ecstasy. We didn't see. People are shocked. Like that, we may be thinking we know everything, Bhagavatam, and they are going to come and see Chata and say, oh, Krishna. And we're going to say, how these guys are not chanting? How did they become like this? We are chanting, we are doing dancing, gao, nacho, but nothing happened. These fellows are seeing. It's going to happen. It's coming very soon. Don't be left out. That's the point. So I'll just take questions for a few minutes, but before that, he wants to play a short video. Are you all able to see it? You can put it in full screen mode. I'm sorry I've taken so much time. Wasted, isn't it?
ISKCON is a multifaceted org.
What happened? Now it's connected. Is this a waste of valuable human form of life? Today's class? Everybody is thinking valuable human life we wasted. Sitting and hearing this philosophy.
ISKCON is a multifaceted organization with quite wide range of projects, with more than 500 major centers around the world. ISKCON is predominantly known as a religious and spiritual organization. However, Srila Prabhupada repeatedly emphasized, quote, Krishna ISKCON is a multifaceted organization with quite a wide range of projects. With more than 500 major centers around the world, ISKCON is predominantly known as a religious or spiritual organization. However, Srila Prabhupada repeatedly emphasized, quote, Krishna consciousness is a science, not religion. In the Bhagavad Gita as it is, Lord Krishna says that matter is his separated energy. Bhagavad Gita as it is therefore uniquely compatible with modern science, since it allows for a study of matter separate from God. If properly done, such a scientific study of matter can also be a study of Lord Krishna. The scientific discoveries of the material world can also be equally engaged in carrying out his order. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.536 purport. In 1974, he established the Bhaktivedanta Institute for the scientific presentations of Krishna consciousness in a manner relevant for the modern age, and said, the Institute will be primarily for those who have not entered our temples. There will be no difference between our temples and the Institute, but the Institute will be official. It will be a formal education and they will get degree. It will be open for everyone, including those who have already entered our temples. They may also participate. Srila Prabhupada, 1975, Bombay. At the Bhaktivedanta Institute in Mumbai and Berkeley, its present director, His Grace Rasaraja Das, aka Professor Ravi V. Gomatam, ME, PhD, has been carrying out this task of presenting the Bhagavat conception of matter in an entirely rigorous and scientific manner, first to the scientists. He has published more than 45 papers, many of which are already taught in American universities such as Brown University. Scientists already appreciate these new concepts of matter from Srimad Bhagavatam, and Rasaraja has recently started presenting this work for devotees and the general public via a series of short 3 or 4 minute videos on his YouTube channel. These videos come out regularly, a few times a week, and are already being appreciated by devotees. Priyas. Just hearing your scientific and mature presentation soothes my disturbed mind and reminds me of how important it is to present this Krishna conscious knowledge to the best and brightest minds of the leaders of society. Instead of the usual run-of-the-mill presentations of the Vedas, which mostly lead to nowhere, it's nice to know that you are presenting the Vedas in a scientific manner, and with the aim to actually address the deficits that are long overdue, primarily due to approaches the Western scientists have adopted. Giant Sova. Excellent explanation of the difference between Sanskrit and other languages from the viewpoint of Vedic literature versus modern science. Very novel and informative.
Hare Krishna.
Feedback.
Hare Krishna. So we request all the devotees to pull out their smartphones if you have it with you, and they can. The channel name is there in the last line on the screen. Rasaraja Dasa. Please subscribe, so that it will be you'll be more encouraged, and he's putting out more videos every week. He's putting out 1 or 2 videos on this channel, and some longer videos will also be there. eventually is planning to offer an online course on modern science and Bhagavad Gita. That will also come in this channel. Hare Krishna.
So I just wanted to, before I take questions, the last sentence, Prabhupada right said, if Sankirtana Yajna is performed, there will be no difficulty, not even in industrial enterprises. Now, why would that happen is because when you are presenting this concept of matter from Bhagavatam scientifically, that's the beginning. We have to present first matter to devotees as well as outside public. So important. And that's why Bhagavatam talks so much about it in second canto, third canto, fourth canto. And if you have proper knowledge of matter, that is scientific, so put also Sharma quote, apart from Vedas and Puranas, then it will come. Then such scientific knowledge of matter must automatically lead to technology. So the next phase of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, which is going to take this Krishna consciousness to every town and village. Of course, once people start seeing Krishna in matter, even outside the temple, they will naturally take up the process of chanting Hare Krishna. You see? So that process is going to come through first fulfilling the material needs of the people using science and technology, which is compatible with theism, not like current science, which is incompatible with theism. So then we can understand the point that even industrial enterprises, it's going to come. Simple living and high thinking is only for 0.01% population, which are Brahminical. High living and high thinking for Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, and high living and simple thinking for Sudras. So high living is for 99% of the population, only simple living for the Brahmanas. This is Varnashrama Dharma. And that high living, currently science is pretending to give, but in a way that is very bad for the planet, and it's also bad for people. Isn't it? People simply using cell phone, they're getting neck and this and that and everything. So it's a very, very Ugra Karma activity. But Lord Chaitanya is not saying you go back. He's actually going to bring science. It's all there. Prabhupada wrote in one place in Bhagavatam. What is there? Can you read? Read, please.
No, apart from Puranas and Vedic literatures, scientifically, it is a modern science. According to their way, we can convince. Puranas, you may not believe the authority. I may not believe. But scientific truth has to be accepted. Srila Prabhupada Room Conversation, Bombay, March 31, 1977.
It's important quotes or not important quotes? Very important. Okay. Any questions or comments? If nothing, we'll stop. Anybody has questions? Yes, sir. There must be questions.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Vidya. Thank you so much. Yesterday I was, so this trend now, which is the artificial intelligence. And one of the scariest thing which I saw in that was it has neural networks, which means that it can think on its own. Now,
No, that doesn't mean.
Doesn't mean that.
Neural nets it's a one type of sequential process called von Neumann machines.
So I was and I also heard that it evolves, it interacts based on the questions that come in. So is that a scary part for us? Because today, we spoke about the atheists, the science, they also understand, but this thing is kind of
no. It doesn't learn something that it has not been told. It's a chunk. See, ChatGPT is a type of software that does a few things. One is that it uses, like you said, neural nets, and training is done on that. But it also actually statistically correlates a vast amount of data on the internet. Trillions and trillions and trillions of data, which was not possible before. Plus, it coordinates statistically through extremely sophisticated mathematical algorithms. This is not a joke. The ChatGPT was, it cost them a few $100 million to develop. It's not that, India may, what is that? Modi is saying now, make in India, India mein banao, kya banayega India mein? Kuch nahi kar sakta. You cannot make something like this because it requires extraordinary investment, extraordinary brains. They made it. Of course, Indians can become coolies there and become CEO also, but it is there. It's a different mindset. So it is a very mechanized process, but it is so sophisticated that the statistical correlation of the data will lead to some connections that we may not human beings see. You have a computer a salary package, processing. You don't think that it knows everyone's salary. It is simply mechanically, it's the same thing. But it's so sophisticated that it appears like it is having its own intelligence, but actually the statistical correlations a human being cannot make. Millions and billions and trillions of correlations. That's the machine doing. It's a very inferior form of the brain because such a technology still cannot recognize. Well, nowadays they're getting better facial recognition and this and that. But a newborn baby recognizes the mother's face just like that. We still can't do it. It is an enumerative process. Anyway, are you clear? It's all just propaganda. It's a mechanization. Therefore, this has to be overcome. So it is Lord Chaitanya's plan. Let us see how it is to be overcome. It's not, he's bringing it to full boil, but there is also a problem in science which has not been solved for 110 years in physics. That problem is to be solved using Bhagavatam. No other way it can be solved. And Lord Chaitanya has also created that problem and kept it. And if that problem is solved in physics, all of this will change. The way of, because physics is the basis for chemistry, chemistry is the basis for biology, biology is and engineering and this, and so everything is going to change. So Lord Chaitanya has got it all under control. Yeah, it's going to come, new science, new technology. That is the semantic information. The Semantic Institute of Semantic Information we have started. The phrase objective semantic information is a scientific name for Panchabhutas. So we can scientifically introduce it. That clear? Anybody else has any other question? It's what is called the quantum measurement problem. It's a far improperly formulated problem, therefore they're not able to solve it. So we are actually put Josephson's quote, and then we are solving. And it's a beautiful thing is that problem cannot be solved unless you bring the Bhagavatam concept of matter. Isn't that amazing? So for 110 years, that's why Einstein spent 45 years of his life. He said, I've spent 100 times more energy on this problem than theory of relativity. And he couldn't even define the problem. It's a beautiful situation. Devotees don't know about it. Or they may know about it by reading popular quantum mechanics. That's all not correct. You have to go to my thing. That's my scientific website. Can you read that?
Yes. Brian Josephson, Nobel laureate in physics, saying, I was very interested in the talk by Dr. Ravi Gomatam, that is Rasaraja Prabhu's legal name, because he showed by some nice arguments that the proper way to think of quantum mechanics is in terms of relationships This is a new way of thinking. It may be that this is how we should be doing science.
In other words, the Nobel laureates, the scientists are understanding and appreciating. But in ISKCON, we don't even know about this. So who is intelligent? You tell me. Did you all know that such work is going on? Then why? We don't know. So that is the quality of the scientist. When you give something right, he'll immediately accept. So he's saying that we are not able to solve it, but maybe this is how we should be doing science to solve it. There are other scholars also appreciating. So scientists who are supposed to be our enemies, they are appreciating this. Because they are after knowledge, real knowledge. When you give it, they'll take it. But if you don't know, table is your experience, and you are saying the world is created by God, you're talking nonsense because you created the world. There is some reality which by perceiving you are creating. Isn't it? Therefore, even the Mayavadis have this idea, yata drishti tata srishti. They have that idea. Mayavadis also figured all this out, but they went in the wrong direction. They're not fools, Mayavadis, very sophisticated guys. And you must, Prabhupada writes in the 5th canto, for a long time, the process of sadhana of the impersonalist and personalist is the same. It's in the 5th canto. So devotees need to be educated. Hopefully that will come. So this YouTube channels are a humble attempt to share these things. So please visit the videos and hear carefully. And I'm also planning to start a Bhagavad Gita and modern science course, basic, intermediate, advanced, and expert. That is Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Bhoma, and Bhakti Vedanta. So at least the basic, we will learn a lot about Bhagavad Gita in a way that you will not be able to get by just reading the books using green glass. So we stop here. Nobody, any questions? Asim, come on, you're an intelligent boy. No question has come to your mind after the class? Yes? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Anji.
Thank you for the instructive class. Prabhuji, so are we to understand that those who are dedicatedly pursuing materialism with scientific basis, with no conception of God, are actually better situated than those who have accepted the path of devotional service without much question and out of pure acceptance? Are they better situated and they'll become better devotees, or they're just devotees only not being manifest?
Good question, very good question. But it is, the question has to be rephrased a little bit. You said that scientists without any knowledge of God, that's not true. Isn't it? A thief knows how he has stolen better than the policeman because he's the one who stole it. The scientist's business is to first understand what is God's role in this world and try to conceal it. They do it. So they know God very deeply. They also have deep understandings. Like I was speaking to a Nobel Prize winner, and I was telling him that according to Indian, he's a good friend of mine. Then I was telling him that according to Indian thought, form is more fundamental than content. The content of this object is matter, wood or something, whatever you can say. But its form is that it's a table. Obviously, the fact that it's a table is more important than the fact that it's a wood. So I was saying that form is very important. So even sound has form, even classical music, our notes have form. That idea is not that Western classical music, they say do, re, mi. They don't talk about it forming forms, but in Indian thought, notes have form. And when with notes you make actually ragas also have form, And he said, I know, I have seen. He was a Western scientist. No, I know, I have seen those forms. That's why they are Nobel Prize winners. They are not going to be telling that to anybody and everybody. So, no, everybody, mama vartama anuvartante manushya partha sarvasaha. So, everybody is coming to Krishna in different ways. Krishna knows that. Just like for a mother, a newborn baby, if it smiles at the mother is happy. If it kicks the mother, still the mother is happy. It's the baby, it's his own baby, her own baby, like that. For Krishna, whether atheist says there is no God or theist says there is God, is equally happy because both are thinking about God. Krishna is very happy. So we have to learn to see that everybody is approaching God in different ways. So we cannot say this is better, that is worse. So if you are coming to Krishna consciousness, let us say, that's not true. All of you also have knowledge. It's not like I'm saying you don't know anything. But Bhagavatam can never be understood by one's own endeavor. That's there in second canto, first chapter, 8th verse. Prabhupada says, it must be learnt from someone who is as good as Srila Vyasadeva. Not anyone. So if a devotee is, if a person that we call devotee, actually everybody is a devotee. Some is revealed, some is not revealed. So if he is taking up the process of Krishna consciousness in a simple way, that's also good. Why we should say which is better, which is not better, depends on that person and Falena Parichate, who becomes a better devotee. But if we want to preach, present Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada said, it has to be presented according to science. That means we must also, and that's also required for devotees. That was the point. So whether a given scientist is better than a particular devotee, it depends on the persons. There may be a person who has become a devotee, he may not be serious. And there may be a great scientist, materialist, atheist, but suddenly he changed. We don't know. Are you following what I'm saying? We cannot a priori say that, this is better, that is worse. I think we have that idea. Unless somebody is following the process this way, is, well, Lord Chaitanya said, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Kevalam. But in the process of presenting things to make people follow this process, there are many methods, of which the most important is science. That Prabhupada said, science, this is the most important preaching arm of history. That was not done well for a long time in ISKCON. Science and Bhaktivedanta Institute meant putting down science, evolution, Big Bang, like that. That also is there, but this is also there. This part was neglected. Now it's coming out. Is that clear? It's a good question.
So there's one question from the Zoom online. I will read that. It's actually Shubh Krishna Das. He's writing, Hare Krishna Prabhu. I have a question. Even though we present Krishna consciousness scientifically, how are we going to spread it and reach the mass audience? Because in textbook already we have a lot of things present, and to move those and put this, it seems difficult. Any plans on this, Prabhuji?
No, it's a good question, but it's not. It is difficult for us, not difficult for Lord Chaitanya. So it's happening, whether you know or not. Like when you put the Brown University citations, you go to Ravi Government/citations. www.ravigovernment.com/citations. Quick. When I say something, I want Siddhi, immediately it should happen. So you can, so we'll just, what happened? What? No, go to www.ravigomatam.com. Then why is it there is no this, there is no that? Read it, Prabhuji. Read that. This is for that person's question.
Present
No,
philosophy
Brown
of
University,
contemplation.
read from the top. Brown University course, everything.
These two courses.
No. Roll it down. Go to the top. Yeah. Dr. Ravi Gomadam's papers.
No. Just read the Brown University thing. Yeah.
Brown, Philosophy of Quantum Mechanics, Brown University, Philosophy 1620, Spring 2010. Professor Douglas Kuttach. Assignment 2.
This is assignment 2 for people who are doing a master's level course in quantum mechanics at Brown. Brown is one of the Ivy League universities. All the big industrialists in India, their children go to Brown more than Harvard or even MIT.
Assignment 2, present an explanation of Gomadam's interpretation of Bohr's interpretation of quantum mechanics. You should articulate the conception of reality offered by Gomadam. Your paper should be approximately 1,000 to 2,500 words, though I will not place any strict limit on the size.
So we are already in the classroom. He's saying in the class, you are learning in India this, but in America they are learning Bhagavata. This is actually based entirely on Bhagavatam. Every word there. But there is nowhere a special mention of Bhagavatam, Krishna, nothing. That is the nature of this presentation. So but now recently, actually, I would like to show those also. Recently, there is a national new education policy is there, and they are a committee for science, and they invite. I was in States, and then they contacted me and they invited me to give a presentation on how textbooks can be written for grade 6, 7, and 8 on science, which also includes Indian heritage, because they knew that I was doing something connecting the two. Then I gave them a presentation on 3 topics. I actually presented it to grade 6 children and I videoed it and showed it so that they won't say that people will not understand, children will not understand. And one on energy, and one on what are numbers, and one on what is measurement. Entirely the Bhagavatam way, but completely in modern science. I have those videos that can be also shown. Maybe tomorrow? No, I'm not here tomorrow. Yeah, we can play just short videos. And you please speak to KJ and then see whether some excerpts can be shown. Because I think it's about 30 minutes. Anyway, we'll show. And the children were reacting. They were understanding. I explained to them the difference between energy and Shakti. They're not the same. So there's so much we are presenting. So both at the level of the PhD level and also in 5th grade. And we are also going to teach for children, kindergarten. It'll all become based on Bhagavatam. Same thing, huh? Children are learning A for apple. We don't have to change it. You know, we have school, mission school. K for Krishna, C for Chaitanya. That's all right. That's also good. But this won't go outside your this thing. And you also want everybody. So I have never seen too many devotees from too many students from our schools becoming devotees. Have you ever seen? Have you seen? It's very rare. They go to school from childhood. We are going to teach A for apple experience. Because it's not apple. It's only a drawing, right? And how you are saying A for apple, that's as bad as saying this is table. So this is table experience. You follow? So A for apple experience, that's how children will learn Bhagavata. This is how it's going to be taught. So we must know there's a science behind this. Prabhupada does not simply say Krishna consciousness science. Does it make sense what I'm saying? What does that person say? He's accepting or not accepting? It is amazing. I'm doing it more or less single-handedly for 44 years. Not only the movement has not supported it, they have also opposed it. They have not supported, they have ignored, and they have opposed. The scientists, this professor, I don't know. He has seen my published paper and taken it and put it in his course. Just try to understand this. I went to one house for a lecture in California, and there was some Indian congregation. Then he was introducing me, and he said, his papers are, taught in Brown University. So I told that person, I didn't know this. I told him, see, in science you cannot overclaim. Don't say such things, And he said, no, Prabhu, your paper is taught in Brown University. I said, what do you mean? I know that and he said, no, it is about Gomatam's interpretation of both. Once he said that, I knew he cannot be making it up because that phrase he cannot come up with. I said, really? Can you send it? Then he sent me, that's when I saw it. I was myself shocked because research papers are only referred by other researchers. For research paper to come inside classroom, it's very rare, right? You don't study research papers in BTech, MTech in the classroom. In fact, there are only two other papers they had to study as a study. One was by Einstein, one by David Bohm. So it's not I don't know whether you people even see that this is something very unique. So we have penetrated academics scientifically, and they are accepting. Any other question? One more. Okay. This is very important. So even if it takes a little time.
Yeah. Here the question is, are transcendental sounds like Hare Krishna have different form of matter or sound, or is it just one form of a material matter?
It's also a good question, but again, not phrased well, because that's okay. He's asking, again, in the beginning, what does it say? Are transcendental sounds like Hare Krishna also forms of
have different form of matter?
No. That's sound. A very wrong question. You have to say, do they also have form? And what are those forms? And we have heard, but we don't know actually. That's why that Hare Krishna is identical with Krishna. Therefore, what is Radha Krishna, in fact? So what is the form of Krishna? Sound? Same Tribangi. But how to prove it? For that, you have to start at the opposite end. Table sound. If you understand table is different from wood, is identical with table. Not only because at that time you are actually understanding it as the energy of Krishna. I'm not saying everything. It's all there. So the answer is yes, but this is a transcendental vibration. The chanting of Hare Krishna is not, you can see in the Vaishnava songbook, the Prabhupada's recording is there, Hare Krishna chanting. The chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, is saying, is not from the sensuous plane, the mental or the intellectual. It is coming from the spiritual plane. Just like when I'm speaking, the sound is coming from the speaker, but the speaker is not making that sound. And that is coming through the electricity, modulated electricity signal, but that's also not making the sound. That coming from the microphone is also not producing the sound. Who is producing the sound? Me. Like that, when we are chanting Hare Krishna, it is past the body, the mind, intelligence, and false ego. But we are chanting, soul is chanting. But we are so much, this mind is disturbing us. We have this habit of constantly focusing on the mind. Just like you go into this swimming pool and you drop a guy who doesn't know swimming. He's immediately, he's trying to find the ground, isn't it? Because that's what he's used to. But if you go touch the ground, you'll drown. You need to be afloat. So we are very used to body and mind. Don't underestimate this. I just started this class. I didn't even go. I have to say so. So we are accustomed, you are accustomed, you, not Asim, Asim is liberated, but you and me, right? You agree with me or only me? You and me. So you and me, we are accustomed to this mind. If it goes away, I'll be lost. You're not lost. Try to understand this. You have, that is why it's called mantra, manatraya. We simply say it'll deliver you from the mind, but you don't even know what is mind. And you can't even exist without mind. If the mind was not running, people say, Prabhu, my mind is running, what should I do? If the mind is not running, you'll be even more worried. Because that's what you're used to. So you're constantly looking like that. That's like a thief. He goes to a rich man's house. Somehow he got invited for a party. How was that? Fine, fine, nice there, nice to meet you. He's always watching what is there. That's all. He's want to steal. So we are always interested in how anything we do is in the mind and how the mind will go to body and how I can enjoy. This is a deep, deep disease I have for time immemorial. But Lord Chaitanya says, Tumhare liye, loinu amar. Take it. So this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, which is actually performed from the spiritual platform, can deliver us from this mind, provided you know what is the mantra, what is your mind, and how to get out. Suppose you say, no, I don't know anything, I'll chant. Yes, but then you should know. You must realize. Vasudeve Bhagavate Bhakti Yoga Janete Asu Jnanam Savera. Very quickly, it is action. So, you cannot simply say, I'm only chanting, but you must get knowledge. Correct or not? You must. And then if someone has got that knowledge and if he's speaking, you can't tell him, oh, no, we don't want to hear all this. It's very difficult. We'll only chant. But you'll come to know the same thing. You must. You don't have to study science. You have to only chant, but you will know. Yasmin Vigyatam Sarvam Evam Vigyatam Bhavanti. So this chanting process, we must become confident of ignoring the mind. I tell men that think of your mind like your wife, you cannot control. And I tell the women, think of your mind as like your husband, ignore. So the point is that udasina means you have to ignore. But we are not. You don't know this, that you cannot exist without the mind working. The mind is thinking, according to Lord Buddha, 17 trillion thoughts every blink of an eye. Just try to imagine. When Arjuna tells, Arjuna was so good in yogic siddhis and all, he could go to other planets. He could go to Indra's planet. So he knows, then he says, Etasyaham na pashyami. Vayoriva sudushkaram. He says, this is not possible. You please ask me to stop the tempest. I go outside and put my hand and tempest is coming. I can stop it. Mind, I cannot stop. He knows. Probably I'm going to engage my mind, manmana bhavad. Yeah, but you just, when you start chanting, the mind is very nice. But today I have to chant nicely, and I know I'm so, fallen soul. Oh Krishna, oh Lord Chaitanya, please save me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. After that, the mind, God, mind is very clever. Mind is a person. Don't think that mind is inert matter. This is inert matter. This is not even inert matter, but inert matter is, mind is a person. It's much more close to a person. Intelligence, false ego. False ego actually has an eye. That is another topic. So don't think that this matter is something simple. It's not like this. It's not like driving a car. I'm driving a car and I'm not the car. I'll get out. No, you cannot get out. Excuse me, sir. You are not the driver. You are the. What are you? Huh? What does the word Sariram Vidhi Ratam? What does that say? The soul is not a driver. Soul is passenger. So you can't control. So you have to learn. So chanting of Hare Krishna mantra is extraordinary. And when you know all these things, you may not understand what I say, but if you generally feel something, it should improve your chanting. Chanting is the only process, but Shravanam, Kirtanam. You have to hear properly and chant. Does it make sense? That's why Bhagavatam is important. Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanandi.
Hare Krishna. So I have a small book table there showing the institute publications. You can come and see. I'll be there.
Hare Krishna. Let's thank His Grace Rasaraja Prabhu for opening our eyes to see the matter which we can't see. So we'll continue the evening class. Prabhuji said he'll speak from the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita today evening and also show some videos in the evening. So we'll start after Gaur Arati around 7:10 in the evening. So let's thank Prabhuji by chanting once Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you. So for guests, prasadam is arranged there outside. Hare Krishna.